Hey guys, it's Rory with searchinchow.com and you join me at the Samsung booth in MWC 2019 where we're going to check out a couple of their new mid-range smartphones. So it's called the Galaxy A30 and the Galaxy A50. So we'll start with the Galaxy A50. Before we begin this video, I'd like to give a huge thanks to our roaming and innovation partner Digi for making our coverage of MWC 2019 possible. Enjoy borderless connectivity with Digi's affordable roaming plans from as low as 5 ringgit per day and manage them all easily with the My Digi app even when you're overseas. Learn more in the link in the video description. So this is the smartphone. It is their mid-range device that sits, I believe, just above the Galaxy M series. So it's slightly more capable, and here are the specs. So in front you've got a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus display, and it's an AMOLED panel, so it looks nice and vibrant. Inside it's powered by an Exynos 9610 processor, which is like their mid-range processor, and you can pair this with up to 4 or 6 gigs of RAM and 64 or 128 gigs of internal storage, which is pretty generous for a mid-range smartphone. You'll also notice that this phone looks really pretty and shiny in the same way that Samsung's flagships do, but this is actually not glass. It's something, but it's also apparently not plastic. It's something Samsung is calling glastic, which is, I guess, a hybrid of glass and plastic. It feels okay, it feels shiny and stuff, but it doesn't have that sort of premium tang that glass does. I don't know. So it doesn't feel quite as exquisite as like a Galaxy S series smartphone. And another thing is that you'll notice it has a glossy band around it. So it looks like metal, it feels kind of like metal, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's actually plastic. Though I can't really confirm because sometimes these plastic glossy frames are really good at pretending to be metal. Besides that, this smartphone also has other good features, including a really large 4000 mAh battery. 4000 mAh battery. Plus it supports fast charging, 15 watts, so you can actually top this up in like a rapid pace. Moving on, we've got the most obvious fact, which is the fact that this smartphone is missing a fingerprint scanner, or at least it appears to be missing a fingerprint scanner, because there is actually a fingerprint scanner and it's in the display. So it's an in-display fingerprint scanner, a lot like what you'd find on the Galaxy S10, for example, or on the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. These are like flagship features in a mid-range smartphone, so I'm pretty surprised to find an in-display fingerprint scanner here. How well does it work? I don't know because I can't test it right now, but I'll be pretty excited to test it if and when, or if it does come to Malaysia. Besides that, this smartphone also has a whole set of cameras. So as you notice at the back, there's a triple camera setup. So this consists of one 25 megapixel wide-angle main camera, and then you have a secondary 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera. So it's very similar to the Galaxy M series. And then you have a third depth of field sensor, which is 5 megapixels. So you get the flexibility of ultra wide and you have a juicy 25 megapixel main sensor for everyday photos. Up front, there's also a selfie camera, if you notice, in the notch, which Samsung calls the Infinity U display. So this selfie camera is actually a 25 megapixel selfie shooter, so it's right up there with the likes of Vivo and Oppo's selfie expert smartphones. Finally, to make sure you're getting the full Galaxy experience, even though this is a mid-range smartphone, Samsung has actually included a bunch of features that you normally only find on your Galaxy S and Galaxy Note series. So that includes Samsung Pay, which is very handy when you want to pay for stuff and you don't want to bring your cards around. Then there's also Bixby, which you can see if I swipe over. Oh, there's Bixby! But you don't get a dedicated Bixby button, so that might actually be more of a pro than on the Samsung flagships for some of you. Okay, so that's it for my first impressions of the Galaxy A50. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. It feels like a very nicely put together device. I'm only concerned about, I'm only not a big fan of how light it feels, but I know I'm like some of those few people who prefer heavy smartphones. But it feels pretty good, well built together, and even though this is not really glass, it still has that premium feel to it, and I know that's a pretty good thing. So this is the Samsung Galaxy A30 and it is the more affordable of the Samsung Galaxy A Duo, and you can tell by the slight bump down in specs. So at its core, it has an Exynos 7904 processor instead of the 9610 that's in the A50, and you also get slightly less RAM, with it topping up at with you being able to configure it with either 3 or 4 gigs of RAM, as well as 32 or 64 gigs of internal storage, but luckily it also supports expandable storage, so you can pop in a micro SD card for more space. However, it does retain a lot of the Galaxy A50's good specs, including the 6.4-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display up front, as well as the large 4000 mAh battery, the fast charging, Samsung Pay, and all those good features. So it just gets a bump down in performance and also in camera. So right now, instead of a triple camera setup, you'll notice that this has a dual camera setup. So one of it is a 16 megapixel wide angle camera, and the other is a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. In front, the selfie shooter also gets bumped down to just 16 megapixels, but how much that would affect selfie quality remains to be seen. And lastly, the big change is that it has a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner instead of an in-display fingerprint scanner. But this might actually turn out to be better in my experience. But I don't know, I can't test it right here. So that's it. That is the rundown on the Samsung Galaxy A30 and A50. Honestly, both these smartphones feel pretty good for mid-range devices. They're a refreshing take on the Galaxy A line of smartphones, which I have been following since the Galaxy A 2016. This is probably the most refreshing take that I've seen. Completely changed design, and I kind of dig it. It feels more comfortable in the hand. It doesn't look like it's trying too hard to look like a Galaxy S device anymore, and it has some relatively decent specs on paper, but we don't know whether this smartphone will be coming to Malaysia or not, nor do we know how much it is priced, so I can't really judge how good this mid-range handset is. Thanks to Airbnb for making us feel at home in beautiful Barcelona during MWC 2019. Book online today and get your very own stay-in experience at your next travel destination. Learn more in the link in the video description. And that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any one of our future uploads. And there will be a lot of videos because MWC 19 is happening right now. In the meantime, you can check out our latest MWC coverage over here, as well as another really awesome video right over here. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!